Hi there everybody, welcome back to another Saturday Showcase feature in the Paper Sweet Studio with me, Ashley Newell. I'm so happy that it's Saturday and I get to share another creative project with you. And this week's Saturday Showcase feature is for a mini stamp set called Inflate and Celebrate. Okay, so this is a mini stamp set originally priced at $5, and right now there's a current promotion still going on and you can get it for under $5. A steal. I'm going to be showing you a different way that you can think outside of the box of how it probably was intended when it was originally designed to be used. Another way you can use it. And I just want you guys to remember that there are a lot of ways that you can use these stamps and of course the dies for different occasions and things like that. So let's get started and let's take a look at the project. And this card is a save the date card and it is for a graduation. Usually this Inflate and Celebrate stamp set is all about saving the date for whatever reason, but I think sometimes we forget about graduations and things like that. So I thought this would be a cool time to do it because graduations are coming up in May and June, and it would be cool for graduates to be able to stamp this out and save the date and put it in people's mind that, hey, there's a graduation coming up if they send them out. Especially if you have a graduate, I should say, that's coming up in 2020, these would be really cool to send out around Christmas time or something, right after Christmas, the beginning of the new year, before you get the actual invitations and announcements. So, not only is Inflate and Celebrate good for all sorts of events, but just graduation, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so now that you've seen today's project, let's get started and let's see about creating it, alright? Alright, so in this video, I just want to go over, of course, Inflate and Celebrate. And here is the stamp set here. And as you can see, there are a few major sentiments. You have Save the Date, you have Be My Date, and you also have Don't Be Late. The other ones that pair with it are Please, Celebrate, Inflate, Me, and then the ampersand for and. And then you have some other extra elements. You have an ampersand element, a little circular element here that you can put the ampersand in, or you can add a little heart, an exclamation point, or one of these little extra add-ons. Okay, so a lot of things you can do with this, a lot of things you can use it for. So don't just feel like you're limited and say, oh, I don't have a save the date to send this out for. You don't need it just for that. This could be definitely transformed into a graduation card, not save the date. So definitely you can just make this say something like Celebrate and Inflate, and then add a balloon to it or something like that, and just change the concept up a little bit. All right, so that's the stamp set here. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing I want to do, I'm going to keep this here so we can keep that in mind what we're working on. But the first thing I want to do is stamp the balloons. Okay, so in stamping the balloons, I picked some smaller balloons, and I picked it from Simple Impressions and Celebrations. This was a kit that was designed to be used for a lot of different occasions, and if you can just have one stamp set, this will be the stamp set and the whole little kit thing to get, because everything is included in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take the balloon image, add it to my block, and then start stamping. So I'm going to use pretty much the same color schemes, and I might not layer it as low as I did the first time, so I'm just going to do one here, up here, and I'll drop one low there. The next color I'm going to pick is Melon Berry. And so with Melon Berry, I want to stamp off because Melon Berry is a very strong color, but I don't want it to be that strong. So I'm going to stamp off and kind of get a lighter bit of a berry color. Next color I'm going to do Aqua Mist. Let's go with that one. And I've been stamping it again. Might as well to get an extra color in there of a balloon. And it comes out really pretty. Get that generation stamping effect. Alright, I'm going to do spring moss here. Alright. And one more color, Lavender Moon. Alright, so now that I'm done with the balloon, I'm going to take this balloon string and stamp that now. So I'll start backwards, and here's my lavender. And the string can go kind of like, I think either way. I think it can. So I kind of flip them up so they're not all facing the same direction. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Enclosed Graduate set. This is the dies that coordinate with it, Enclosed Graduate. They come with 2 different dies here, but I'm only going to be using this one. I'm only going to die cut it once. Alright, so here is the actual cap that I've die cut, and I want to show you a little trick on how to make this a little bit more interactive. It's to snip it apart. So there's a little bit of a line there, and I'm just going to see it's like this, but it's still connected. So I'm just going to snip it apart. So there are 2 pieces, and it's easy to do because your scissors will just line up with that top part there. So now you have the little bit of a cap and the actual top of the cap, and it makes it so that you can make it more 3-dimensional and move it around. So that's why I chose to do that. Alright, so let's work on the next biggest step, I think, for stamping is the actual date that I want to save in the little Pennant Banner, and that's because I am going to be using this particular collection here, and this is Monthly Moments tabbed, and I really like it because it has all of the months and the days of the week and things like that in here, and these great little banners here. So I already have one die cut from white cardstock, and I'm just going to be adding that little pennant banner, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The pennant banner is here from the Simple Impression Celebration set. So I'm going to take it apart here, and this is where I'm going to be using my stamp positioner. Okay, I'll do it on the same side. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp save the date so I know where everything's going to be. A little pennant at the bottom. Alright, I'm taking True Black ink. Stamping out twice to get that true deep black color. So I want it to curve a little bit more, so I'm taking it off the block and curve it just a little bit more. And that's looking good because I want it to fit. I put this down over that. So this time I think I'm going to do yellow Pennant Banner. And take a Post-it note to mask. And I'm also going to take a pencil, and this will help me remember where I want this little tab die cut to go. Okay. I'm going to turn my Post-it note down because I don't have a smaller one to use. Alright, that's where I want it. So now I'm going to take my ink, my Lemon Tart ink, and go ahead and saturate it, ink it up, and go ahead and stamp it once. Add my Pennant Banner just right where I want it. Remember, I had my pencil marks there, so it helps. And I'm going to stamp it again. Alright. Remove my Post-it note, and as you can see now, there's nothing on the end. So I need to add the other side, right? So I'm going to line this up so it fits right there on the other side. And since I can see right through my stamps, this makes this part not so difficult. But take your time if you're working on this part to make a shorter banner. This is just a technique that you can use to make your banners shorter if the stamp is a little bit longer than you actually want it to be. And it's really not going to matter what this other side is doing because I'm not going to stamp that side. Okay, so I'm going to keep it like this. Take that Post-it note again, that mask, put it down anywhere just so it doesn't stamp anymore. Just stamp the end here and give it a push. Alright, clean my stamp off, remove my mask, and then I have my shortened banner just from one stamp set. So next I want to do is take an eraser and erase those light pencil marks I did. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side because the last thing I need to do is stamp the month and the date. Alright, so I'm going to stamp May the 11th, and my May is coming from the Monthly Moments tab stamp set. Here it is here. And then my 11 comes from the Traveler's Journal Dates stamp set, and they have all these little circle numbers, of course with the months and the days of the week as well, but I'm using that as my little date that I want to actually stamp the actual day. Alright, here's my True Black ink. I'm just going to position this here, and I'm going to stamp May right here. Alright, and the last thing I'm going to do here is stamp the date, the day of the month 11, which is the Saturday of Mother's Day weekend. Very popular date A very popular date to graduate on for colleges and universities, college students. All right, so I'm gonna put my stamp back. I'm pretty much done with all of my stamping. Now I'm just going to add foam adhesive to the back of this. To pop this up, just finishes it off in a different way. I could have easily just stamped May here, 11th, and that would look just as great too. All right, so it's not, whoops, it's not something that of course I had to do, but something fun to do. Especially if you find stamping an enjoyable process like most of us do. All right, so let's get back to building our graduation cap. I have the cap here. All right, what I'm gonna do is just show you really quickly how you can just add some foam adhesive here and here. If you want to, you can add one more in the center as well to give it some weight there so it doesn't dip down. And then just add the cap right there to it. And then you have like a three-dimensional cap that's like raised up. All right, so it can be laid flat or you can still raise it up, which I plan to do. All right, so really quickly, I'm gonna try to show you how I make a quick tassel. I mean, this enclosed graduate comes with a paper tassel, just so you know. It does come with a tassel you can stamp, and that will look just as nice. But I think it's also be cool to come up with a way to make something more interactive and fun, and something like a real tassel, so to speak, would be really cool. So I have here this one. I don't think it needs to be that long, so I'm going to cut it a little bit more. So however long you want your tassel to be, that's kind of like how you want your little guide to be. So my tassel needs to be relatively short. So I'm going to take my embroidery floss. If you want to make it thinner, you can, and separate the floss. It's up to you. Or you can use yarn or whatever you want. And I'm just going to hold it tight here, and then just start wrapping my floss around a few times. And since I don't want it to be, for this particular project, since it's on a card, I don't want it to weigh it down too much, and I don't want it to be too bulky. I'm not going to do it too many times because I don't want to overwhelm it. I want it to kind of fit the weight of the cap that is already there. So I don't know how many times I did that, but just a few. And I'm cutting it here just a little bit extra because I don't want it to get lost in there. And so if you need to, I didn't do this when I made my other one, but if you need to, of course you can kind of tape it down just to temporarily keep everything into place if you need to do something like that. But you don't have to, because I didn't do that when I made the first one. But it's a way to keep those loose ends from flying about. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is take some here. I'm going to take a little bit extra because I like to work with extra versus not having enough. And I'm just going to tie a knot. Now this will be my loop that's right here. So I don't need it to be too long because my tassel will hang here. So this is why I want to do it at this stage so that you can kind of see how it goes. So I don't need it to be too long, so I'm just going to do a knot kind of like this because it's easier for me to do this knot, even though I did a knot the other way before, but this way it's a lot easier for me to judge how far down it's going to be and hang. And I can kind of slide it down a little bit more before I actually tighten that knot. So I think there's pretty good. So I'm going to trim the extra part. And what I like to do is hide this. So I'm going to slide it around and hide my knot behind this part of the tassel. Okay, so there's my little loop there. Now I'm ready to remove my tape, or if you didn't do it, you're ready to just take it off of the paper. Like so. And you're going to get some more floss to wrap around it. Again, you don't need too much. Keep some here hanging off so you can tie that knot to connect, secure it. And you just start wrapping it around. I like to wrap this way for some reason. I don't know if it's because I'm right-handed, but I did this a couple of times, a few times before, and I keep doing it this way because it's easier for me. But whatever is easiest to you, which side you want to use. And you just start wrapping it around to create that band that replicates a tassel. Alright, so now I'm going to take this side here and the extra that I have on the other end, and I'm going to secure it with a knot. So there's one, and then I'll do it one more time so it creates the knot. And two. And now I want to get rid of as much excess as I can so I don't have it sticking out. Alright, last thing to do, you find your loop here. See how you can put my finger through there? You put your scissors in and you snip. Alright, and then you trim any extra ones that might be too long to make them even, if you want them to be even. Okay, and there is my little tassel. I think I could have used a little bit less. I didn't have to use so much. I could have gone off a few strands, but it's still pretty. And I found a little one like that on that one, but here's one that's kind of the same. But I think I'll use this one. Alright, so now I've got my button all done up there. I'm just going to go ahead and first I need to put this in position. So let me find some foam dots for this. Alright, there's my cap. Add my button. And the last thing I do is add my tassel. Pull it around there. And there's my save the date. Okay, everybody, I hope you liked today's Saturday Showcase featuring Inflate and Celebrate. A cool way to save the dates and a little bit more. Think outside of the box, think of ways you can use it and have fun with it. And then it allows you to pull in some of the other sets you probably haven't used either. Like how I used Simple Impressions, the little kit, and I also used some dates and things like that. So have fun with it, right? Of course, use balloons on there if you like to. That's the way it was intended, but it doesn't have to be. So just enjoy the process and have fun creating. That's the best part about it. I hope you enjoyed this week's Saturday Showcase featuring Inflate and Celebrate. For Paper Tray Ink, I'm Ashley Newell, and I guess I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.